Good morning, students. I hope that everyone is fine and doing their regular studies now. So, today, from Language of Chemistry, I'm going to discuss some of the question answers which would help us to understand the concept taught in the language of chemistry in a better way. Now, the first question which we are going to discuss is what is symbol? What information does it convey? Now, symbol, short form of an atom or specific element, or the abbreviation used to refer names of the element, is known as symbol. If you remember, we had done some rules. Symbols are usually taken from the first letter written in capital from the name of the element, or it is derived from its Latin name. So, what does symbol or what information does symbol convey? It represents a specific element. Like if I say capital H, that means hydrogen. If I say capital H small e, that is He, it stands for helium. Symbol represents one atom of an element. If I say H, that represents that it is one atom of hydrogen. A symbol represents how many atoms are present in 1 gram atom. Now, what is my 1 gram atom? 1 gram atom is equal to its atomic number. Sorry, it's equal to its atomic mass number. If I say N, N stands for nitrogen and its atomic mass number is 14. So, 1 atom of nitrogen is equal to 14 grams. Again, I'll repeat 1 gram atom is equal to the atomic mass number of an element. Now, for example, oxygen has atomic mass number 16. So, one atom of oxygen weighs 16 grams. It represents the number of times an atom is heavier than one atomic mass unit, taken as a standard. Now, carbon is taken as a standard. If you remember, carbon 12 is taken as the standard. If I compare carbon with magnesium, now magnesium has atomic mass number 24. Therefore, magnesium is twice heavier than that of carbon. So, four things for four information conveyed by symbol are: it represents a specific element, it represents one atom of an element, a symbol represents how many atoms are present in 1 gram atom, it represents the number of times an atom is heavier than one atomic mass unit taken as standard. And please remember, one atomic mass unit means carbon 12. We are comparing all the other elements with carbon. Just to take the fourth point as an example, like if we compare hydrogen with carbon, hydrogen is 1/12 that of carbon. Why 1/12? Because atomic mass number of hydrogen is 1 and that of carbon is 12. As we are comparing hydrogen with carbon, therefore we will say hydrogen is 1/12 the mass of carbon atom. Now the question may be, we have already answered this question, but it is a very important question, so we'll discuss again. Why is the symbol S for sulfur but Na for sodium and Si for silicon? Now, if you check sulfur, sodium, silicon, all the three elements have the same first letter, that is S. So, as we have utilized S for sulfur, we cannot use S for sodium and silicon. Second thing is, sodium has a Latin name, that is natrium, and therefore its symbol is derived from its Latin word natrium, and the symbol is Na. Why not N only? Because we have utilized N for nitrogen. So, while naming an element, first letter of the element is taken and written in capital. For example, for sulfur, we use the symbol S. In case if the letter is already adopted, means already used, we use symbol derived from Latin word of the element name. Example, for sodium, Latin name is natrium, and we use the symbol Na. In some cases, we use the initial letter in capital together with a small letter from its name. The second letter which is selected is the most prominent letter. It is not compulsory that we will take the second letter only. It will be the most prominent letter. Like in case of silicon, we use the symbol Si because after Si is the most prominent letter. Now for your practice, the third question is just a practice question. Write the full form of IUPAC. The IUPAC is the main governing body in chemistry. IUPAC governs all the rules and all the discoveries taking place in chemistry. IUPAC stands for International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. Whatever rules are made in chemistry, are decided by this governing body. Now, the second part of the question says, name the element represented by the following symbol: AU, PB, SN, HE. And just to recall, all these names are from their Latin names. Like AU stands for Aurum. Aurum is the Latin name of gold. PB, plumbum. Plumbum is the Latin name of lead. SN, that is stannum. Stannum is the Latin name of tin. Hg, hydrargyrum. Hydrargyrum is the Latin name of mercury. If the symbol, now our fourth question, if the symbol for cobalt, CO, were written as capital C, capital O, what would be wrong with it? Now we have done the rules for writing the symbols of an element. If we are using two letters, the first letter should be capital and the second letter should be small. If we write capital C, capital O, it means it consists of two non-metals, namely carbon and oxygen, and it would represent carbon monoxide but not cobalt. Please remember, while writing the molecules, we write two atoms in a combined form. Like if I write capital C, capital O, that stands for carbon monoxide. Capital C and small o represents cobalt. So that's the difference. What do the following symbols stand for? Here it is. This question is meant for us to understand what are different ways we are representing different things. Like capital H stands for one atom of hydrogen. H2 stands for one molecule of hydrogen. This H2 formula represents that two atoms combine to form one molecule of hydrogen. 2S stands for two atoms of hydrogen and 2S2 stands for two molecules of hydrogen. Now our next question, what is a chemical equation? Why is it necessary to balance it? Now a chemical equation is a symbolic representation of a chemical reaction. Here we use symbols and formulas of the substance involved in the reaction. Just to revise again, a chemical reaction has two parts. One is the reactant, which is written on the left hand side, and the other one is the product, which is written on the right hand side. Between the reactant and the product, an arrow is drawn to indicate that the reactant has undergone some chemical change and given as the product. If there are any necessary condition like temperature, pressure, or catalyst involved, those things are written on the bracket. Also, if there's a gas evolved, it is represented by an up arrow, and if there's a precipitate formed, it is represented by a down arrow. Please remember, precipitate is an insoluble salt formed during a chemical reaction, specifically in precipitation reaction. That was a part of double decomposition reaction. You have done the types of reaction in your lower class. Basically, 5 types of reaction we have done in 8th standard. That was combination, decomposition, displacement, double displacement. In double displacement, we had 2 types, that is neutralization reaction and precipitation reaction. And the last one was redox reaction, which again has 2 types of reaction, oxidation and reduction. Now, why is it necessary to balance a chemical equation? As we know, according to the law of conservation of mass, matter can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. This is possible only if the total number of atoms on the reactant side is equal to the total number of atoms on the product side. Thus, a chemical reaction should be always balanced. State the information conveyed by the following equation. State the information conveyed by the following equation. What information is conveyed here? Like the equation given is Zn plus 2HCl gives you ZnCl2 plus S2. If you see in this reaction, we have also written the state of the reactants and the product. Like Zn in the bracket it is S, S stands for solid, HCl it is liquid, aqueous. If you remember, I've discussed this term aqueous. Aqueous means if there is a gas or a solid compound which does not react directly, we have to prepare a solution of that gas or solid. Like HCl, hydrogen chloride is a gas which is dissolved in water to produce hydrochloric acid. So whenever I'm representing hydrochloric acid, I'll write aqueous because I'm dissolving that gas in water to prepare its solution. And if the solution is used in the reaction, it is written as aqueous. Now, what information does this equation, that is Zn plus 2HCl, gives you ZnCl2 plus H2 represent? The chemical equation shows single displacement reaction. Now, what do I mean by single displacement reaction? Here, Zn is displacing hydrogen from hydrogen chloride solution, and the product would be ZnCl2. Here, non-metal is hydrogen, which is evolved as gas. It is displaced by zinc metal. In the given equation, Zn plus 2HCl gives you ZnCl2 plus H2. Zinc is reduced reductant metal that displaces hydrogen from aqueous solution. Now this question, calculate the relative molecular mass. Now we have done this and we have to practice this. So I'll go a little slower for you so that we can go ahead and be on the same page. Now you can see the first compound given is CHCl3. I've taught you how to write it down. What you will do is you will first simplify the formula. We'll write down 1 into C plus 1 into H plus 3 into Cl. Why have we done this? Because in this particular equation, we have to go ahead and write the number of atoms present in that compound. Now, in the second step, we are going to replace the symbols of the element with their atomic mass number. Now, for carbon it is 12, so 1 into 12. For hydrogen it is 1, so 1 into 1. And for chlorine it is 3 into, for chlorine you can see below, it is 35.5. Now, please remember guys, we have done this earlier also. That when you are writing or solving this question, do it stepwise so that you do not make a mistake. Try to remember the names, atomic mass number of the elements which are more common. It will be given in the examination, atomic mass number. But if you remember it, if suppose by chance, if they do not give this information, at least you will have the names of some common elements and that would really help you. Now, if you solve it, for carbon you get 12 plus 1 and 35.5 into 3 will give you 106.5. Now, if you add a total 106.5 plus 1 plus 12, that would be 119.5. So, answer would be 119.5 atomic mass unit. You have to go ahead and write down the final answer with its unit, that is atomic mass unit. Now, the second one, if you see it is NH4 twice Cr2O7. Now, in the previous class also, if I have told you that if some numbers are written outside the bracket, that number is applicable to both the elements. In this case, that number 2, which is written outside the bracket, is applicable for both nitrogen and hydrogen. So it will be 2 into N plus. Now you have to start solving with me. I'll be giving you the initial step and then you have to replace these numbers with the atomic mass number. It will be 8 into H. Why 8 into H? Because already hydrogen has 4 atoms inside the bracket. 4 into 2 is 8. Plus 2 into Cr plus 7 into O. Now do it faster. I'll wait for you. So as I told you, it would be 2 into N plus 8 into H plus 2 into Cr plus 7 into O. I have to delete it because I don't have the space on the board. So you can write it down, 2 into 14 plus 8 into 1 plus 2 into the atomic mass number of Cr, that is chromium, and the next step would be plus 7 into O, that is 7 into 16. Start solving it, that will really help you out. Let's see how many of you can, or if how many of you are able to complete this faster. Now let's take the next example, CuSO4.5H2O. Now before we move ahead in solving this question, let us understand what does this dot 5H2O means. This dot 5H2O indicates water of crystallization. What is water of crystallization? The extra water molecule associated with the compound which is loosely bonded to it and can be lost on heating is called as water of crystallization. In your 8th standard, if you remember, I taught you that copper sulfate, pure copper sulfate, is white in color. But as copper sulfate absorbs water molecule, and as you have seen, that copper sulfate in the laboratory is blue in color because that copper sulfate which is present in the laboratory is copper sulfate pentahydrate, that is CuSO4.5H2O. After absorbing this water molecule, pure copper sulfate gets converted into blue color. How will you solve this? 1 into Cu plus 1 into S plus 4 into O plus, now here you write 10 into H. Why? Because 5 into 2 is 10H. So 10 into H plus 5 into O. While balancing the equation also you are done. If a number is written in front of the compound, that number is applicable for the entire elements of the compound. Now replace these symbols with the atomic mass number so that you get the right answer. Your substitution will be 1 into 63 plus 1 into 32 plus 4 into 16 plus 10 into 1 plus 5 into O. I'll wait for you. You can start solving it so that we are on the same page. It would be, again I'm repeating, it would be 1 into 63 plus 1 into 32 plus 4 into 16 plus 10 into 1 plus 5 into 16. If you want, you can combine the oxygen. You can directly write down 9 into O for your part, but if you do it in a systematic way, it will be much easier. That would come out to 63 plus 32 plus 64 plus 10 plus 80. Now to add 63, 32, 64, 10 and 80. That would come out to, please do it fast. Let me see how many of you get the right answer. The right answer, I believe most of you have got it right. It's 249 atomic mass unit. Now let's solve the next question. The next question was NH4 twice SO4. Now it will be 2 into N. I believe most of you can do it now. Plus 8 into H plus 1 into S. It is easier. Once you have solved the second question, you can easily solve it. Plus 4 into O. Now again, here you have to substitute the symbols with their atomic mass numbers. So 2 into 14 plus 8 into 1 plus 1 into 32 plus 4 into 16. So 2 into 14 is 28. 8 into 1 is 8. 1 into 32 is 32. Plus 4 into 16 is 64. Solve it now. Add it. The final answer which you will get is 132 atomic mass unit. Similarly, you can solve the next question. It is CH3COONA. You can compile the atoms also. Like I will show you the compiled method, but I would prefer you solving the question in the simpler form by writing all the elements separately as it is given in the chemical formula or molecular formula. Now shortcut method would be 2 into C, but if you are following this method, please make sure that you are aware, you are doing it very precautiously, or I would rather request you to follow the previous step. Here we have 2 carbons, so 2 into C, 3 hydrogens, so 3 into H, plus 3 into H, 2 into C, plus 3 into H, plus 2 into O plus 1 into Na. 1 into Na. So 2 into C is 2 into 12 plus 3 into 1 plus 2 into 16 plus 1 into 23. If you see, I'm solving the numerical in a systematic way. Now 2 into 12 is 24 plus 3 plus 32 plus 23. Now what you have to do is you have to add the numbers. 24 plus 3 plus 32 plus 23. So try adding it. Your final answer would be 82 atomic mass unit. Now the remaining two questions, that is potassium chlorate, that is KClO3, you can solve it for your practice purpose. When you are solving this KClO3, your molecular formula for potassium chlorate is KClO3. You can directly add 2 into K plus 1 into Cl plus 3 into O. In some of the cases, the question is difficult. What they'll do is this, they'll not give you the molecular formula directly. They'll write the name. First, you have to write down the molecular formula, and then you have to solve it for finding the molecular mass of that compound. So you can write it down 2 into 39 plus 1 into 35.5 plus 3 into 16. And then you can do the multiplication part. Similarly, for the last one, that is ammonium chloroplatinate, which is NH4 twice PlCl6. All you have to substitute it, that is 2 into N plus 8 into H plus 1 into P plus 1 into L plus 6 into Cl. You have to substitute the symbols with their atomic mass numbers and you will get the desired result. I hope that everyone is clear, and in the next sessions, I'm going to discuss how to find out the percentage of an element in the compound. Then I'll find out, we will try to learn how to find out the empirical formula and molecular formula of a compound. I will also be teaching you what is empirical formula, what is molecular formula. Till then, guys, keep on learning, keep yourself safe, and try to help your parents in doing their work. Thank you and stay safe. Bye bye.